Okay, so today I'm going to read you an article over John Quincy Adams, and then we're going to do a cause and effect lesson, okay? Here's the article, and I know you guys have it in front of you. John Quincy Adams was no ordinary boy. Born in 1767, he was present during the birth of our nation. As the son of John Adams, who would become America's second president, he watched patriot representatives debate pressing matters. At the age of 8, his innocence was shattered when he witnessed the Battle of Bunker Hill. Seeing great promise in their eldest son, John and Abigail Adams would embark on a plan to nurture his intelligence and character, exposing him to every possible viewpoint on liberty, equality, and the fight for freedom. They would also groom him to adopt the selfless conduct of a public servant. So in 1778, when John Adams was appointed top diplomat to France, he brought his son along. On the ocean voyage, rough seas often sent John Quincy to his cramped quarters. Clear days were spent on deck, bracing his body against the wind, his face turned to the cold sea spray. This journey is documented in journals written by both father and son. But what was life like for John Quincy Adams as an American boy living in France? Historians have, of course, surveyed these years, and so can we by reading actual letters sent between mother and son. Written from Paris on April 28, 1778, one letter shows John Quincy Adams distracted by the concerns of a typical boy. I am now at a good school, which I like very well, he wrote. After giving Abigail a detailed account of his daily schedule, he moved on to politics. I suppose before this reaches you, you will hear of the treaty concluded between France and America, which I believe will rouse the hearts of the Americans. Abigail replied in June of that same year, noting that she missed him dearly. It is a very difficult task, my dear son, for a tender parent to bring their mind to part with a child of your years into a distant land. Most of this letter, however, is devoted to advice. Great learning and superior abilities, should you ever possess them, will be of little value, she wrote, unless virtue, honor, truth, and integrity are added to them. By February of the next year, 11-year-old John Quincy Adams wrote that he is homesick. Luckily, his father was called home in August of 1779. Just 3 months later, John Adams was sent back to Europe. Once again, John Quincy, this time with his brother Charles, accompanied his father, although not without protest. In January of 1780, Abigail praised her son for agreeing to return. If I had thought your reluctance arose from proper deliberation, I should not have urged you to have accompanied your father and brother when you appeared so averse to the voyage. Her closing words show Abigail Adams to be as bold and intelligent as history has portrayed her. These are times in which a genius would wish to live, she wrote. It is not in the still calm of life that great characters are formed. Okay, so because this is a reteach, and I know you guys had a hard time during the initial lesson plan getting the cause and effects from the article, what we're going to do is we're going to number the paragraphs. So just whenever you see an indentation, go ahead and number 1 through 7, I think is what there are. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and fill out this graphic organizer for cause and effect. I know I gave you either the cause or the effect. What we're going to do is I need you to look back over the text and find either the cause or the effects for each one. So the first effect I want you to find. The cause is what effect did John Quincy Adams' trip to France have on his mother? And it is in the article. And then when you're done, use your highlighter or your marker and just highlight where you found it in the article. Paragraph. 5. Yeah. Okay. And then the second effect we're going to find, The cause is, what effect did John Quincy Adams expect the agreement between France and America to have? So find it in the article first, and then you'll write it on the graphic organizer. Number 2 should have been in the 4th paragraph. For the third one, I gave you the effect. The effect was John Adams went back to Europe 3 months later and called his sons with him. So what caused what caused John Adams to go back to Europe 3 months later and call his sons with him? It's in the bottom of the text, closer to the bottom. So again, just find it within the text, highlight it, and then write it in there. You can write that whole thing in.
Who is out here?
Go.
Sick as he was homesick?
No, okay, let me read you the paragraph. By February of the next year, that's paragraph 6, 11-year-old John Quincy wrote that he is homesick. Luckily, his father was called home in August of 1779. Just 3 months later, John Adams was sent back to Europe. Once again, John Quincy, this time with his brother Charles, accompanied his father, although not without protest. So he was called home, he went home 3 months later because his father was called home in August of 1779. But, I mean, yeah, being homesick was part of it. That's not why he ended up leaving, though. Okay, and then the fourth one I gave you the effect as well. They exposed him to every possible viewpoint on liberty. So why did they being his parents, expose John Quincy Adams to every possible viewpoint on liberty? And that's in the first part of the article. So again, just find it, highlight why, and then write the cause, like what caused them to decide to do that. So just to recap what we did, we went over how cause and effect, like the relationship between the two. We found them in the article. So like the first question, what effect did John Quincy Adams' trip to France have on his mother? That was in the 5th paragraph. It says, Abigail replied in June of that same year, noting that she missed him dearly. It is very difficult to ask, my dear son, for a tender parent to bring their mind to part with the child of your years into a distant land. The second one, what effect did John Quincy Adams expect the agreement between France and America to have, was answered in the 4th paragraph. It says on here, I suppose before this reaches you, you will hear of the treaty concluded between France and America, which I believe will rouse the hearts of Americans. So he believed it to excite the Americans and possibly change the direction of the war. The third one, John Adams, he was lonely and he was homesick, but because his father was called home in August of 1779, he ended up going back to Europe 3 months later with his brother. And that's in the 6th paragraph. And then the last one, John and Abigail Adams saw great promise in their son, so because of that, they exposed him to every possible viewpoint. It says on, what was the exact wording? It says liberty, but it's liberty, equality, and in the fight for freedom. So it just gives great examples of cause and effect. Thank you.